welcome to
Knit 1, Heart 2, episode 36.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie on Ravelry and Penny Winnie 2 on Spark People.
And how many members do we have?
We have, now this, I totally forget to say it, 556 members.
Thank you.
We totally got like 20
or
30 members this week. Yay.
Yay. I want to say hello to any new viewers.
Yes,
welcome. And welcome back to any of the continuing viewers. Thanks for coming back each week.
Yeah, I know.
And I have 2 thank yous I'd like to do.
Oh, great.
I'd like to say thank you to JCQ. I was about to give the last name, JCQ. And again, Judy Lewis, thank you again for donating to the podcast.
Wow, thank you.
We really do appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks.
and we are going to make use of those donations because we are going to get ourselves a mailing address. Yay!
Post office box.
Post office box. Yeah.
So
that's going to be awesome. Then we can, it'll be much easier if we do that.
Yes.
So cool. Excellent. And thank you to the people who have sent me your addresses for the Prize-a-Palooza. I'm still waiting on 4 people. I'm going to PM you all this week. So if you haven't seen that you won a prize, you'll be finding out soon.
Yes. And we have a prize to give away this week.
We do have a prize to give away this week, but we're going to do it during
Gossip and Innuendo.
Gossip and Innuendo. So
we're jumping right on to the dance card.
That's right. And I'm going first this week. So on the dance card, the first thing, I got a ton on the dance card this week. In my Diana Couture bag, I have Lysiantha's shawl. Shown it to you before. It got exactly, oops, there we go. 0 love. Okay. I have been super busy this week because it is the annual book fair at my school, and I am in charge of one of the events. So yeah, that's Lysianthus by Rosemary Hill, also known as Designs by Romy. It's $8.50 on Ravelry, and I'm knitting it. I started it in a US 3.25 millimeter to do the flower, and then I switched to a US 4 3.5 millimeter to do the rest of the shawl. And the yarn is Ivy Brambles Romantica in the Night Sky colorway. And I'm loving the pattern. I just haven't had time to work on it this week because of all the other stuff that's going on in my life. Not to mention the fact that half of my family is sick, including me. So it's been a busy week. That's number 1. The second thing on the hook is my sock blanket, which also got exactly 0 love. I'm knitting this using the Flower to Hexagon blanket pattern by Jessie Rayott, which is free on Ravelry. And I'm using a USD or 3 hook and fingering weight yarn from my scraps, some of which were lovingly donated to me by an anonymous donor, some of which are from my own scrap collection that keeps growing. And some of which my mom gave me.
Which, again, was from her own sock collection.
Yeah, most of which. I figured it out. I've given my mom over 30 skeins of sock yarn in the last year, and I still have.
And she's knit 45 pairs of socks?
Yeah. About half of the sock skeins that I give to my mom actually come back to me, so in the form of socks, so I can't complain.
No, I wouldn't.
Because otherwise it would just be sitting in my stash doing nothing. So I'm glad that I can help my mom,
her addiction.
Well, yeah. So she and my dad are on fixed incomes because they're retired. So it's nice that I can give her something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because she's my mom, and she's probably done a little bit for me over the years.
You think?
It's good to pay it forward. So yeah, the next thing, which did get a lot of love this week, is my Celle Bouvat or Not mitten by Tori Rott Designs, which is free on Ravelry. I'm knitting it in the County Effect Garn EQ colorway, which is the rainbow, on a US 2 2.75 millimeter needle. And I finished 1 mitten. Yay. You can see the little guy. That's the front.
Yeah, you said you blocked this or washed it up.
I didn't block. Well, I washed it. I didn't block it any more than I just laid it on the counter. I just wanted to.
Well,
I didn't block it out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I washed it.
Colors are nice.
I know, it came out really pretty.
It'd be interesting to see the other one.
It's a nice fit. I have a little sad story to tell you about this, and then a really funny story to tell you about this mitten.
Can I see it?
So the sad story. You want to look at it?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Here you go. The sad story is that I started the second mitten this yesterday, and I got all the way to the top of the cuff. And the whole time I was knitting on it, I was thinking, God, this cuff looks so much smaller than the other one.
Is that the cuff?
And then
oh,
I
no,
kept, this
one.
is the new one. And I kept going and I kept going and knitting. And then I would look back again and go, God, it really looks small. Oh, it'll probably block out. And when I finally got done, I counted the stitches. And I had cast on 10 stitches less than I needed. I mean, it was a huge, like the new cuff. Here's the original. The one that I knit was like, came to here. It was like half an inch shorter than the width of this cuff. So last night I told everybody at my knitting night about it. I like how I just kept knitting. I knew it was too small and I just kept going. Did I count the stitches? No. I just kept going. I was like, it'll all work out in the end. No. So I had to rip it all back and now I only have this much left. And as you can see, I'm starting with green and blue. And the reason that it's not starting with green and orange like the top of this mitten is because pretty soon it was going to be yellow and yellow at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So in order to avoid that happening, I ripped out all of the orange and the yellow and the green. I have a huge ball. I'll show you. I had to rip off this much.
Oh, wow.
To get to the blue. So that'll be going in the sock blanket. And you can really feel the difference about how stiff this is before you wash it. It's better. It's much more drape after it's washed. And I didn't even do the hair conditioning trick with this. I'm going to do that to both of them when I'm done. And then I'll formally block them with needles and pins, I think. So anyway, but I have a funny story about this. So I realized sometime during yesterday morning that I had cast on 10 stitches less on this and that I was going to have to rip all that out. And it's a pain knitting this. I don't know why the 2x2 bugs me so much, but it really does.
Now, is that corrugated rib? Is that how they call it? Or is it
I don't, it's 2x2. It's knit 2 purl 2.
Okay.
2x2 rib. It just looks different because it's stranded.
Right.
So anyway, I got around the same time that this happened and I realized I'm going to have to knit it out. I got the funniest PM from Looney Hiker, who is a member of our group. She saw this pattern, and since she didn't have Sheila to prevent her from knitting, she's been working on it since I first mentioned it.
You're going to have it drop that?
No.
Sound like a nagging old wife.
She's been working on hers since I first mentioned it. And she just finished her second mitten, and she was so proud of herself until she realized that she knit 2 left mittens. So she has to knit a third mitten, and she might just knit a fourth one, so she has 2 pairs.
Yes. Oh.
Like she's, you know, so I was she told me that she PM'd me this, said it's a funny story, and that's when I told her how I had like totally screwed up on mine, and I said, between the two of us, this is a right-hand mitten. We have 1 pair of normal mittens. So anyway, I got a follow-up PM from her. She went to her knit night last night. I was at mine last night, and she showed off her pair of left-handed mittens and to see if anybody would notice, and everyone was oohing and ahhing, and nobody noticed that it was a mistake until they tried to put them on and they realized, I can't get this one on. It doesn't work backwards. So I thought that story just made me love her. So Looney Hiker, I feel your pain. Not as bad though. At least I only knit a cuff before I realized I made my mistake. But that just goes to show me that even after almost 40 years of knitting, I still screw up all the time. Like
well, not all the time.
Well, but I mean, regularly.
You're still prone to screwing up.
And the funny thing was, I totally could see. I mean, it was like this. The cuff was like this big, and I kept thinking, oh, it'll block out. And yeah, and then I counted it, and it was just 10 stitches because I forgot that I increased the number of stitches on the cuff because I didn't write it down. Because I do that stuff all the time. So anyway, that's my little funny story and my heartbreak. This is the yarn that I still have to knit back into the cuff. You can see hanging out. So hopefully by next week I'll have a little more progress on that. But at least I have one done one to show you. And I really like it. So that's that one. And then I finally started to swatch for the Rot Cardigan by Stephanie Talent. This is my String Theory caper sock in the Laguna colorway, and I just knit a little swatch in the recommended needle size. And I'm going to be honest with you, my preview pattern that I'm test knitting from, I don't know what happened. The gauge got cut off of it, and so Stephanie had to send me the gauge, and I still haven't measured to see if I made gauge, but I'm hoping I did. So if I did, and I don't need to mess around, I'm gonna try to cast this on this week and get it started. But I love it. It's a little bit looser than I would normally knit if this is the right gauge, but it's gonna be so soft and drapey, and I think that the patterning on it, the ribbing, is gonna tighten it up a bit, so I think it'll be perfect. I'm just hoping this is the right gauge. So that's Rock Cardigan. You can see a sneak preview at the link that'll be in the show notes, or you can pre-order the pattern book. It's going to be called California Revival Knits, and it will be available as an actual hardcover book, paper cover book for $26.95, or you can get it solely as an ebook for $16.95. And I have to say, Stephanie Talent deserves her name because she's a very talented designer, and I'm so excited for this. So that's it for what I have on the needles this week.
And today's episode is brought to you by Jasmine Pearl Tea.
Oh yeah, I have
We're
some
both drinking
too.
some.
The giant one. Now how do I drink this so I don't, like this?
Yeah.
This has a little insert. You can't see it.
No, otherwise
there's a little insert inside it where the tea leaves are so that I don't drink them, but I have to
We have
hold
a
it
various
certain way.
collection of Chinese mugs for tea.
Mine has a lid.
And she burnt her hand on it.
I did. It was super hot.
It's good.
Yes. Very delicious.
So, my on the dance card, what's on the needles is, I gotta find, first off, I did not finish the hat. I was knitting for my brother. I did power through it. If I was going to his house for dinner on either a Saturday or Sunday, I think I would have finished the goal. But we went to his house on Friday night, and I think I started it Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm doing the Jacques Cousteau hat by Leila Pohanjapalo. Pohanjapalo, I think that's how you pronounce it.
It's a very long name.
On US 7, 4.5 millimeters. I'm using the Patterns tweed. See, matchy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's meant for DK weight, but I read through the notes on Ravelry. A lot of people did it in worsted and just did this child size, or the smaller size, because there's two sizes. It's a free pattern. It's either 120 stitches or 140. So I did 120. And it's coming good. I'm almost ready to decrease. I was powering through it to the point where my arms were sore, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. And
knitting shouldn't physically hurt you if you can avoid that.
So this is really, it's going to be a nice little beanie for my brother, and I really love knitting him hats because he really appreciates them.
Yeah.
My poor little bald brother, although he's not so little. Happy birthday to him today. Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Bobby.
I got to call him afterwards.
Uncle Bobby.
You will always be older than me. No matter how you like to say otherwise, you will always be older than me. It's 3x2 ribbing. Tedious, but so much better in worsted weight. And I think the finished project is going to look fantastic for the decreasing that he likes. So this is the Jacques Cousteau hat in the Patterns tweed.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think that's kind of manly, right? It's got some blue and brown in it.
Very manly. I think
you can go either way. So that's my first thing on the needles. My second.
Strong enough for a man.
But soft enough for a woman. So this is the second thing, and this is Spice Man.
Spice Man.
By Yarnissima in Blue Moon Socks Rock medium weight, excuse me.
It's from my stash.
From her stash. This is a mill end. It's got like, I don't know, burgundy, maroon, and gray.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So
I didn't like how it looked in the skein, but it's knit up very nice.
You have that problem quite a bit, don't you?
I don't know what happened. That was my first year at Rhinebeck, and there was a huge
panic
shop, and I just grabbed something. I
like it, and I will be adding more Blue Moon to my stash when I can. So I didn't do her toe because when I started this, it was just going to be a generic, and then I'm like, you know what, I need to do more. So I did her gusset, and I think last week I just started the gusset. Mm-hmm. This is what I've been mostly knitting on. So here's the gusset. It's a garter stitch gusset.
I love her gusset. I think it's pretty.
And so here's the foot. I'm sorry, I don't have my blockers with me. And then she also does a plain stocking stitch heel. I did a slip stitch heel to add more wear to it. What I'm really starting to like, and then she does 1x1 ribbing on the Spice Man, which is twisted through the back loop and pearl. She has patterns that do this arch shape ribbing.
Oh yeah.
Hers is always 1x1. I did 2x2, and I'll put it in my show notes because I wrote out how I was going to do it because I still have one sock left to do.
Oh, good. Sheila took notes, unlike me. So.
Well, don't normally take notes because I have no idea how much I cast on for the toe.
Well, you can count.
But I know. Well, I know, but I know how much I increased to.
Yeah.
So she does the make one left, make one right toe.
Mm-hmm.
I just did the knit through the back loop. But what I am liking about this, and see the 64 stitches right here, nothing's changed. You know, you can see the differences when you start increasing. Now I'm back to 64 stitches on the cuff. Look at the pooling.
I know, it's cool.
I love pooling, but it's just so bizarre because down here, you're like, this is where yarn lies. Because really, if you did a swatch, oh, it's not going to pool with this, and then you get up here. Now, it could be the gauge. I've knit on this 2-3 nights in a row from work.
Or it could be that you just got to a weird point in the yarn
yeah.
where you started, and that's just the way it's going to be.
But I love this.
I do too. I love how it's knitting up. I actually really like that yarn in the knit up form. I was not a fan of it before.
You know, if you didn't have your sock knitting machine, Mother, I'd say, yeah, you can have these, but you have your sock knitting machine.
And I gave you the yarn because I didn't want it.
But I love the feel of it, and I'm definitely going to have to start stocking stash on Ravelry.
You're going to need to get some more of that.
So this was on Blue Moon Fiber Arts, US size 1.5, 2.5 millimeters, Socks at Rock, and Mill-End colorway, Spice Man by Yarnissima.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah, she's got a lot of patterns out there. Maybe this will actually make me attempt Spina de Pesce.
Oh, I loved Spina de Pesce.
Or I think I got La Digitessa too.
Yeah, I would love to knit La Digitessa someday, but...
I was going to say when you want, I can give you my pattern because
I'm not using it. I have it too.
Right. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I have the yarn.
I gave her my La Digitessa yarn. I traded it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we traded it. Which means at some point I had enough Woolmize La Digitessa
to make a shawl.
1,500 yards. A good shawl, too.
Yeah.
So, that's all I have on the dance card. Do you want me to go?
No, I
rate
can
my
go.
date? I wasn't sure if you were ready.
Go.
Okay.
I'm just knitting on this. So, I have one date to rate. When I bought the Gnome Spun Rambouillet bat at Mass Sheep and Wool, which is, I showed it to you last week. I made this worsted weight yarn out of it. Navajo Plaid. My son, when I brought it home, my son said, "Oh, I love that. Will you spin it and make me socks?" Yellow socks, because he loves yellow. So I was like, it's not going to be socks, but I had my mom knit him a pair of yellow socks. I bought some yellow yarn for my mom. But I made him this hat out of my hand spun. It came out really cute.
Now, is that an actual pattern?
Yes, this is E-Town Pithy Hat by Little Turtle Knits. It's based on the movie Elizabethtown, and it's a hat that, now that actress's name is going to go right out of my head. The actress in that movie wore that hat. It's really pretty. It's just a simple cable and ribbing in between. I didn't like the decreases, the way the decreases were done in the pattern, so I decreased in my own way.
Let me see.
Oh. I just did random things. I knitted on size US 8 needles, which is 5 millimeter, and it is my hand spun, and I had about 200 yards. This is left out of my 114 skein. I don't know how many yards that is. So it was less than 114 yards to do this, but I also probably knit it smaller because it's for my son. Oh, do you want that? I'll put it on. It's a skull cap on me. I look like a biker.
Actually, you look like you're ready to go swimming.
Yeah, but it fits great on my son. He loves it.
That's all that counts.
And was a quick knit. It took me just an evening to do this. And I have enough to maybe make him some fingerless gloves with the other skein that's left over. So I'll probably do that later. But that's it for dates that I can rate. I only did the one thing.
Okay. I have one rate your date. I am finished with my top-down mittens. See? This is the All Hands on Deck Top-Down Mittens by Rachel of the Diabolical Yarns. It's done in Lona's Laces Shepherd Sport, blue and white. I got this originally to match the town that I am as blue and white, but it's not the right blue. It's okay. And US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters. I love how this turned out. I love the thumbs. They're striping. It's just so funny. And I love also, I think I talked about it last week, how they're almost like mirror images or negatives.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And so it's really nice. I have plenty of left. I have 2 balls roughly like this, and I think I'm going to hold the 2 of these together and do calorimetry.
Yeah.
That headband that you guys see there, two together, because I'm more of a headband person than I am a hat person. So I loved this. I have plans for another pair, maybe in some red yarn. So I had to really pay attention to it because these are left and right as well, where my other ones were more universal, but because of the stitch pattern.
Yeah, don't make 2 left mittens.
So I really loved this, and look at even that's negative. That's kind of funny.
I know, it's cute.
And I think whoever wins this is going to really enjoy it. So
the pattern.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I was tempted to put my name in there. But I restrained myself.
The thumb is really, I did better with the thumb this time. It wasn't so tight. So I really like these, and I was looking for them. I think one day I had soccer for my son, and we were standing out in the cold. I'm like, damn it, I wish these were done.
Should have had it.
My other rate your date I just finished. I don't know if anyone saw me.
Working on it.
My little mini monster. This is Mini Quincy Quaid.
He's cute.
In pink.
She's cute.
She.
I got in trouble for calling it a he.
It's from my swap. I got to add a mouth and take off some of the ends. And Wendy suggested I add a little bit of hair, which I think I will, to make it more look like a girl and less like a male gender part.
Yeah.
But it's cute. I think she'll like it.
It's super cute.
And you can't see it sitting there, so sorry. I made it so that it can actually kind of sit. There we go. Look.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm happy with it.
I would be. It came out great. And that is yarn that was lovingly donated by our anonymous donor.
And I'm thinking it may be...
she told me what it was.
It may be Blue Moon.
Nope. No? It's Madeline Tosh Pashmina.
Oh. She knows who this anonymous donor is. I do not.
Yeah.
Madeline Tosh Pashmina. Well, let me just tell you, I think I need to get some Madeline Tosh Pashmina. This is nice. Well, then this person's getting a very nice monster.
Yes, she
Madeline
is.
Tosh.
Mad Tosh Pashmina.
So that's my other one, and this is Rebecca Danger's Quincy Quaid Quentin. It's done in Madeline Tosh Pashmina. US 1.5, 2.5. Quincy Quaid is a pay for a pattern. I want to say it's $5 on Ravelry. I made a larger version of this, and it's really cute. So this is for the mini swap. It's going to the UK.
Cool.
And I was working on the, I'm going to lose that needle if I don't. Be careful. On Zachary, well, the monster chunk, I added a little hair and finished the feet, and I think he looks a lot cuter. Although Zachary wants me to add more hair, and Wendy would like me to add pupils.
I just don't like those dead staring eyes.
I know, but it's not going to happen.
Creepy.
So Zachary's been taking this everywhere. So that's it for my Rate Your Dates.
Thin week on the finished projects for us.
Hey.
After the last few weeks when we had tons of projects done.
I average about at least one a week. That's not bad for me.
No.
Next week I'll have the hat, definitely. I may not have it with me, though, depending on when I see my brother. And hopefully at least one sock.
I hope so.
And now we go to future dates.
Yes, I have a future date. So I have my regular knitting night on Monday nights. And Graham Knits from our group is lending me a pattern called the Get Back Backpack. And it is by Claire Crompton. And it's cute. It's just a little knit backpack with moss stitch straps, and her granddaughter, who's also in the knitting group, knit one, and it was super cute. So I had mentioned that I would love to borrow the pattern, and I am. And my plan is to spin the pink and orange wool blend that I got from Spinner's Hill at Rhinebeck into worsted weight yarn. I'm probably going to Navajo ply it because I really enjoy doing that. And I think I can get, I have 8 ounces. I think I need at least 400 yards, and I'm going to make one for my daughter.
Yeah.
So that's a future date. I don't know. I'll probably start spinning for that soon because I didn't bring it with me, but I just finished 4 ounces of lace weight. I just spun.
Are you going to apply that?
I applied it lace weight.
Oh.
I applied I spun 2-ply lace weight.
Nice.
I don't know how much. I got a whole big chunk of it. I don't know how many yards it is yet. But that's what I spun that out of my Spunky Eclectic that came with my wheel. I spun lace weight. I've spun like 6 ounces in the last, since I got my wheel, because I can spin so much more.
Right.
Now that I have more bobbins. With the one bobbin, I was kind of limited. But now that I can keep switching my bobbins out, I can spin a lot more. So, yeah, that's going to be my future date. I'm really excited to see how that pink and orange blend spins up. I think it'll mute it out a little bit because it's very bright. It reminds me of Zoe from Sesame Street. It's my Sesame Street. And that's pretty much it for my future dates.
My future dates, I knit myself a pair of these. It's the Felted Clogs by Bev Gillespie. Last year, I think you remember, I finished them when we...
May she rest in peace.
I know.
Poor Bev Gillespie.
And so my son, I was wearing his to the death because he wasn't wearing them. Well, he now steals mine. So I figured I'm planning on knitting a couple of pairs of Felted Clogs to keep around the house for when we have company. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do the top in this.
What is that?
It's this is for a Lion Fisherman's Wool. And I think I knit socks out of this. I did. And so I got a ton of this. So I'll do the top out of this and the bottom out of this. I have 2 skeins. This is Knit Picks. Well, the Andes in Winter Night. I have 2 skeins of this.
Yeah.
So that's good for the bottoms, although I may need another skein. I'll have to think about that. Because you do 2 bottoms to make it cushy. And maybe what I'll do is, for the inner bottom, do these 2 colors together, and then for the bottom, do this one.
Oh, that's good.
And the only reason I like to do a darker color is because you are walking on floors with this.
And it's going to get grubby.
Well, it does. I mean, mine's not bad. We don't wear shoes. Sorry, I'm out of frame. We don't wear shoes in the house out of the fact that it's cultural. And so mine don't look that bad. These were scraps. And this is the inner sole. They've been compressed quite a bit. Because I wear them every day. Every day I wear them. So if I have a couple of pairs, and they're super quick to knit, you're doing them doubled yarn, size 13. But I think I'm going to actually have to make him the large women's. Or the small men's because his feet are getting big. And my dad's coming into town in a couple of weeks, and he spends time here, obviously. And my brother always yells at the fact that the floor is so cold. So I think if I have some extra slippers around the house.
I just have to insert here that Sheila inherited a lovely rug that matched her living room beautifully and kept the floor toasty warm. But
my husband took it up.
Doesn't like it.
So it's going to go
back to the cold floor again.
It's going to the Goodwill. It's a really nice rug.
It's a really nice rug.
I mean, it's
and
probably...
it looked really nice in here, too.
It matched the colors perfectly. It's probably like 20-something years old. My dad has had it for a long time. But it's a nice wool rug.
Nice and thick.
I may put it down.
I would just put it down and say...
Suck it up.
Yeah.
I might.
Say, we can take it up in the summer if it bothers you that much, but in the winter we're having a rug.
I think that's what I'm going to do.
I think you should.
And if I put the non-slip stuff on it, he probably
You should have gotten some you should have told me. I have some at home. I'll bring it to you next week. Remind me.
All right, I will. So that's what I'm planning on casting on. Probably after I finish my brother's hat, I will cast that on.
Cool.
And then, various socks and stuff when I finish. I think I'm always going to have a pair of socks on the needles because...
She likes socks.
I love socks. And come wintertime, I wear nothing but wool socks.
Me too, but of course I am related to the knitting machine, so I have something like 30 pairs of socks at my house. I just got, 6 more pairs?
Well,
5 more pairs.
I was looking at some socks that I've put aside to darn. And there's a pair of my first real pattern socks, which was the monkey by Cookier, is beyond repair.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Yeah, okay.
What I am going to do is cut the heel, the foot off where it's beyond repair. And I think I'll keep them for wrist warmers.
Oh, yeah, you could do that.
Because the cuff itself is beautiful. And it was done out of art yarns, which had no nylon in it. It was like...
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've looked at them again. My wool mice I put there aside thinking that it was beyond repair. And I looked at that. I'm like, oh, no, I can repair these.
Yeah, I have some serious darning to do because my mom gave me 3 pairs of socks that need
these are I have like a whole toe that's just...
Oh, no, my Spina di Pesce, which is made out of, it's wool mice. It's a pattern that came with the wool mice yarn. I didn't make them out of the wool mice. I knit them out of, Dream and Color. The whole heel blew out of one of those. I'm going to repair it because those socks took me like 2 months to knit, and I am not going to give them up easily.
No, I'll bring them next week.
We should do an episode where we show stuff that we've darned because I don't know if a lot of people know about darning. It's a good way to make your
sock
investment go.
Well, you know that I keep saying that's going to be my next pair of socks, but I'm saying it. Yeah, it definitely is. I already know which yarn I'm going to use. My next pair of socks is going to be the Elizabeth Zimmerman's moccasin socks, and she has you knit it in such a way that you can replace the foot, because that's where I tend to blow out my foot. Here's my foot, my toes. They're long. Sorry. Here's the ball of my foot. I tend to blow it out here because I have a really heavy ball, and then on this part of the heel, not like
not saying anything.
I have a bunion, but I blow out this part of the heel, not the heel part.
See, I blow out the back of the heel,
no.
And that's my thing. I blow out the back of the heel.
And I was wearing another pair of socks the other day, another favorite pair of mine. Back to basic socks. That was a toe up. And I noticed that I'm starting again to get it here. So I need to darn those before they get to the point where, darn them before they get to the blowout point.
I was just looking at my socks because somebody stopped me at pickup today and complimented my socks.
Those are Mad Color Weave?
That is Cherry Tree Hill.
No, I meant the pattern.
No, it's Aquaphobia.
Oh, okay.
But some lady came up to me, said, I love your socks and I love your shoes, because I was wearing my
all right.
my Dance Go Mary Jane, so you could see. And she's like, I'm a knitter, but I don't know how to knit socks. I was like, it's really easy.
I was, my son is doing indoor soccer this year, and I was coaching last weekend, and it didn't bode well. But besides the point, on the stands, I saw somebody knitting, and it looked like she was knitting a sweater because she had a large base. So I'm like, oh, I wish I could have gone away. I think she was from the opposing team.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to mingle with those people.
Well, it's all fun, but they were good.
All right. Crushes and heartbreaks. I have 2. I'll do the first one. Sheila doesn't know about this, but it is a crush that quickly turned into a heartbreak. Oh. So this weekend, my mom and I spent the day in a neighboring town where we went to a bunch of festivals, and my husband had taken my son to get his karate belt, and afterwards he took the kids to Target because he promised my son he could have Lego Ninjago, which I'm not happy about, because the reward of that day should have been that he got a new karate belt, but my husband, whatever, he did this, I can't stop him. So afterwards we met them for lunch. My mom and I met up with them for lunch, and the kids told me, I'm so excited, Mom, we bought you a present, you're going to love it. So we get home, and they give me this sock monkey by Monkey Town.
He's cute.
You can get, if you like him, you can get him at Target. I'm pretty sure that's where they got him. And it says that he plays Jingle Bells. They're like, it's a Christmas sock monkey. I'm like, oh, that is so sweet. And then I played it.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh.
So the heartbreak is hearing that over and over and over, right?
I find the screaming of the monkey to be distressing and kind of frightening.
Making spirits bright. What fun it is to sing song tonight.
It sounds like they're torturing him.
I suggest that you take the batteries out.
Well, the kids think it's hilarious. Seriously, you know those little monkeys that do the symbols
Yeah.
that are kind of creepy? That screaming, I don't know, that screaming is frightening. Like, seriously, it gives me the chills every time. Ah!
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, my kids are like, no, you love it, Mom. And I'm like, oh, it's really creepy. So that was a crush that turned quickly into a heartbreak because look, he's so cute. So incredibly cute.
Oh, you take the batteries out.
Yeah, I think we probably will. But I definitely want to display him. He's very cute. I just don't want anyone making him make a sound. Now, if he just played Jingle Bells, that would still be super cute.
Yeah.
But the monkey screaming is creepy. I'm sorry. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is a
If
little
you
creepy.
don't mind the monkeys screaming and you like sock monkeys, you can get him at Target. He's very cute. So that was number 1. And number 2, Sheila and I have been talking about this for a while. I tried to knit lace for the longest time. You're on. And I kept having a big problem with it. I started out with lace weight. And then I reverted back to knitting with fingering weight. And I tried the Shetland shawl pattern, which Sheila just recently finished.
Here is the finished.
That's the finished one.
If I can
That's in the worsted weight. I had this gorgeous great Adirondack. I think it was it was either silk and wool or bamboo and wool. Might have been bamboo and wool. I can't remember, but I had
I'm gonna say bamboo.
I think it was bamboo. I had a ton of yardage in this beautiful colorway. Hold it up to you. Called Antique, which is this muted rainbow.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. And I cast on the Shetland shawl, and you can kind of see the little pine cones on there. I knit it to be this big. And I then decided to block it because I was going to just knit until I ran out. And this actually would have turned out to be
a decent size.
I think I probably would have stopped pretty soon. So I blocked it. I had my new blocking wires. I blocked it out. I pinned it with my little pins.
This is a couple of years ago.
This is like the first lace thing. Yes. And I had my Knit Picks blocking pad too. Like I was all prepared for this. And I was really excited. And this was the first lace that I had no problem knitting. And as I laid it out, I don't know if you can see it, my cat licked it in a million places. I'm going to try to show you. While it was on the blocking pads, let me see if I can get that. Can you see this right there?
Yeah, this is a good section.
There's one. There's one. She made a hole. She licked so much that she made a hole in it down here.
I tried trying to cover it up.
There's one place where there's like a hole in it.
No, I think that was where I tried to...
Oh, you tried to cover the hole up?
I tried to weave in or something like that. Because your mom...
Oh, no, here it is.
Her mom last week said, well, that doesn't look so bad. You could wear it. But
there's like a hole. She licked it so bad. She like licked a hole in it.
You could probably wear it as a scarf. Like,
I mean, you could, but what it's all over. I mean, if you look at this thing, it's like she couldn't help herself. She licked it here. Here.
She was addicted to it.
Here. She's a yarn licker. Here. It's all over the whole thing. So I come up to see it, and the cat has licked and felted it all over. So I rolled it up. You can see it's still on the provisional yarn because I hadn't finished it. I like rolled it up and threw it in a bag. Like I can't even deal with it. Such a horrible story. So that was my very first lace knitting.
I think it would look good like this.
Yeah, I can't. Can't do it. But if anyone knows where I can get this bamboo merino great Adirondack in the antique colorway, let me know because I would totally knit this again and make sure that my cat didn't lick it.
Have you looked on Ravelry?
No, I haven't looked. I mean, seriously, I just blocked this out of my mind because,
you dropped a stitch. Oh?
No, she's licked it.
Well, then.
No, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to do anything with it. I just roll it up and keep it in my stash.
To remind you of your pain.
I know. It was sad. But knitting that is what gave me the ability and courage to knit regular lace weight. So it was a good... It turned out good that I did that, but what a heartbreak.
Don't mean to laugh.
I know, but it is kind of funny.
So I have a few crushes and heartbreaks. The first one I'm wearing, as you recall, this is my Ridgeline shawl by Lisa Beamer. I'm going to show it to you again. Hopefully I won't drop it in the tea. Then it will be tea-dyed.
Yeah.
ridgeline
Pretty.
with slip stitches. It is now up for sale by Lisa Beamer of Fiber
Oh, I
Nymph.
thought you meant your shawl.
No.
I'm like, wow.
The ridgelines is up for sale now. Is up for sale by Lisa Beamer, 90% knitting, Fiber Nymph. It's a $6 pattern on Ravelry, downloadable. It's written for, I think, any weight yarn or maybe more fingering. She showcases it in fingering on her pattern page. Sorry, I have a hair that's driving me insane. I did mine in worsted weight, and I think I've come to realize that that's all the shawls I'm going to do is worsted weight because it goes quicker.
You're such a huge fan of worsted weight.
Well, because they're bigger. I was
know.
looking at a couple of the shawls we did over the summer, and they look like teeny little doll
Well, those
shawls.
are more shawlettes.
They were shawlettes, but so I wanted to mention that. And the rest is really heartbreaks because I worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, overnights. We are actually recording on Tuesday, which is early because I'm working Wednesday night and Thursday night. So I think my work is slowly trying to kill me.
I think she is too.
So not only did I work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, I had a soccer game Saturday night. We had my brother's birthday party on Friday night. And in the midst of all that, we raked about 30 bags of leaves.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, we still have more to go, unfortunately. And so I figured it out. In 6 days of work, will have worked 5 of them.
That's crazy.
So I had Monday night off, and I was debating whether or not to sleep. Yeah, I slept. And then, yeah, that's my crushes and heartbreaks. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's a funny heartbreak. I come home yesterday after working 3 days straight. I put my key in the lock, and it wasn't going all the way. It felt like something had been shoved in my lock.
Yeah.
Like a stick. So then I try and turn it and my key breaks. So I'm knocking on the door, thank goodness somebody's home. I pull out the key and I try my husband's key to see what's going on. There was something definitely stuck in the lock.
Yeah.
So I woke up earlier than I would normally after my nap, went to Lowe's, got a whole new doorknob, had them set the doorknob to our key.
So you didn't have to get new keys.
So, they give you new keys with the doorknob, but, my father has a spare.
Yeah, so you don't have to change everybody's keys out.
So that worked out well. So that's like a mixture of crush and heartbreak, but I have no idea what happened to it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah.
I'm going to tell you, a kid probably put something
That's
in there.
what I'm thinking. I asked my boys, I'm like, did you guys try and stick a pen, a twig in there? No. I'm not saying they did.
Could have been a neighbor kid.
Yeah.
It just sounds like something a kid would do.
And I saw how the guy took the doorknob apart to look in,
Yeah.
and I tried to do it, but I couldn't. So my husband's like, you're going to throw it away. I'm like, what else am I going to do? Good
Save it.
I mean, I'll keep the hardware because you can always use hardware. But, and I was just looking at this. Wendy brought an old project, and I brought this. This is a project that you love somebody when you do this for them.
Oh, God.
This is...
I had to live through the knitting of these socks.
This is knee socks for my husband, who does not wear them. On his defense, they're a little too big. They actually fall down. And I even tried doing the elastic in that, but that was just a fail on all levels. So, this is opal yarn. I ended up having to buy a second skein to do these things. I'm going to go down to wherever the last increases were and re-knit 2x2 ribbing. I think I'm going to keep it 2x2. I put 1x1 twisted rib up at the top. I don't know what the heck I was thinking.
Trying to get fancy.
Yeah.
You probably just wanted a break because that was a lot.
So these are actually one of my favorite pair of socks to knit, not the knee highs.
I don't think she's ever going to knit knee highs again.
No.
I heard nothing but complaints during the knitting of the knee highs.
I talked to my husband. I said, are you going to wear them as knee highs or do you want me to rip them back and just do them as regular socks? Because they're sitting in his drawer. And I've worn them and they're, I have a wonky heel sticking out when I do wear them because his feet are a little bit bigger. And he goes, no, I'll wear them as knee highs. I'm like, okay. So this is the back to basic socks that I was just telling you about. It's a toe up sock. It's free pattern on Knitty. And you do your arch for the gusset starting in the center.
Yeah.
And it goes this way. I have 2 pair. I knit another pair. So I really like these. So sometime when I'm done with my socks that I'm currently knitting, I will take these apart. I'll probably just cut them.
Yeah, I would.
This is a cotton blend yarn. That probably doesn't help either.
Yeah, it's because it stretches a lot.
And then what I'll do is I'll find wherever I increase last and go down maybe 2 increases. It's hard to tell. And they also have, the things to non-slip for slippers.
Mm-hmm.
I might do that on the edges because he's got a couple pairs of socks that have the grip.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help too. Maybe I should do that first.
Yeah, and see if that helps without ripping them back.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that first.
Good idea.
Because you can get that on, I don't know, I may just rip back the ribbing anyways because I'm not happy with the ribbing. And just continue it up. I don't know. But I just wanted to show you.
Also, twisted ribbing is so much stretchier than regular ribbing.
Is it?
Yes. Twisted stitches are stretchier than regular stitches.
But not elastic. Or are you saying they are more elastic?
They're more elastic. Twisted is more elastic.
Well, they weren't very elastic here. So, I love these socks. I have the other skein of it that I would love to make another pair for me. But I want to fix these first before I use that. So,
just in case you need.
I don't think I'll need it. If anything, I'll have extra yarn because look at this.
I know.
My husband has some very deep calves. Is that what they call it? Deep calves. That's funny. I never looked at it. But yeah, so that's kind of a heartbreak too.
It is that you have to knit them again after all the complaints.
I'm not knitting them all. I'm not going to be knitting the whole thing again. I'm a better sock knitter.
Is that it
Yeah.
for? So I have Baubles and Bling this week. If you all remember, I showed you last week.
There goes the monkey.
There goes the
Thing
monkey.
It didn't stop
Maybe
playing.
he's dead. This is the bag that I won from Knitting's My Bag on Etsy. Lois, our friend, who did the 2011 Podcaster Challenge. So I loved it so much. I picked out. I had her make this for me in this material because I thought it was really cute. Loved it so much that I bought a second one to match it. This is the small size.
It's a good size.
I love it. Look how cute it is. It's like a little fat pouch, and I love it. So I'm using that for my mitten project. Thank you, Lois. I love it. It has the same pockets inside as the big one does, and it's huge inside. But it's got this little fat square shape that I just find for to be really cute.
It's cute.
Yes, so I love that. That is my Baubles and Bling for this week, and that's it.
My Baubles and Bling is I bought, we went to the bookstore the other day per my husband's request. I don't know if any of you read, I'm going to say the first book, Aragon. It's a dragon
Christopher
series.
Paolini.
Thank you. I guess he wrote it when he was 16.
He did. He wrote it when he was a
wrote
teenager.
the first book when he was 16. He came out with his last book in the series called Inheritance. It came out on the 8th. My husband had me buy it on the 9th. We were figuring out whether it was cheaper to do Amazon. He has a Kindle. He didn't want to read it on the Kindle. He wanted the actual book. And so we were going back and forth. With the price on Amazon and shipping, it was just cheaper for me to go to Barnes & Noble and use a friend of mine's Barnes & Noble card. I wonder who that could have been.
So many people use my Barnes & Noble card.
It really benefits you, right?
Doesn't really benefit
Don't
me
you
at
get
all.
points or anything?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter. It just gives you a discount.
So I got Stephanie Pro McPhee's all wound up, and I've been reading it.
Yeah, we
here
should
and
do
there.
a book review of that when we're done. Because I bought it on my Kindle and I read it.
The one thing that I thought was really funny is there's a story here about Mr. Washi.
Oh, Mr.
And Sir Washi. And they were looking into washing machines. And there's this thing here that I thought was really funny. And I'm just trying to find it. I'm sorry. It was where she was looking and said, who needs a $4,000? If a washer is $4,000, I want to get the laundry out of my room. I want it to get the laundry out of my room, bring it back, fold it after it made me coffee and told me it likes my hair for $4,000. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. I start reading, I'm laughing, and my Max is like, what, Mom, what? I'm like, oh, it's so hard for you to understand.
Yeah, we should do a book review of that when you finish.
But I had to share that. That was just funny. So I'm a third of the way through. I was reading it last night as I was lying on the couch.
Yeah.
After working, I'm just like lying like this reading. I'm like, I don't have the energy to move. I didn't feel like knitting because my thumb is much better now, but it was swollen.
You shouldn't knit until you hurt yourself.
Well, you know what? It's the only way to keep awake.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I will be doing this again. I brought show notes to do. I did my show notes.
Oh,
there.
good. See,
So,
there you go.
that's a good thing.
So
that's my baubles and bling. That's all I have.
Gossip and innuendo. The first thing I want to say before we draw for our prize is that we will be doing a mailing right now.
After we're done
with this today, of the ones that we have addresses for, and I'm going to PM the people that I haven't heard from. I think there are 4 prize winners that I haven't heard from. So, but the people that we do mail out today, I'm going to PM you to let you know something went out so you can be on the lookout for it. And that's all I have to say about that.
Gossip and innuendo, just the mitten giveaway.
Yeah, mitten giveaway.
So, all right, here's the situation. We're recording early because of my work schedule, and I apologize. We're giving 1 pattern away this week. We're going to keep the thread open for next week, and we'll give 1 pattern away next week. However, you cannot win twice.
Yeah, so you're getting 2 chances, everybody in the thread. So if you haven't joined the thread, there's still time to join the thread.
Right, we didn't want to close it because we are recording early and without notice.
Right, yeah.
I just called up Wendy and said, can you record Tuesday because Wednesday and Thursday.
And
you'd
honestly,
get a zombie.
this week is crazy for me because I have to drive my mom to the airport tomorrow morning, and
so
I have the Cocoa Night thing that I'm doing, and then I have the Girl Scout thing. I'm going to be busy.
So this is what we're pulling for. This is my copy of All Hands on Deck. It's in my iPad, sorry. And she writes it up for DK weight, but with instructions at the end on how to modify it for whatever weight yarn. I've done 1 in worsted and 1 in, it says it's sport, but I don't think it is. I think it's a heavy fingering weight.
Yeah, I think it's heavy fingering.
And love both of them. And I have plans for future ones. And I think what I like about this is just like a toe-up sock or any sock, once you know the recipe, you can modify it.
Them out.
Well, you can modify
add
it.
stitch patterns.
Yeah, right, it's stitch patterns to it and everything else. So
you could do whatever. It's awesome.
So the randomnumber.org as of, let me just double check, make sure we didn't get any new addies. As of like 20 minutes ago, it was, see, I'm glad I did it. So it will be 2 through 38, and I did post a thread in there that I deleted myself, so I apologize. Because I was commenting on everybody. For some reason, all of a sudden I forgot, like, oh yeah, I shouldn't comment. But some of the people were writing some good stuff that I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, son of a gun. So 2 through 38 on random.org, and the winner was number 23.
23, and who is that?
And
drum roll.
The winner is on the other page. Sorry, it's on the first page.
Number 23.
Can you write it down for me once I tell you?
Oh, I don't have a pen, so no, I can't.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Number 23 is Deb Knits too.
Deb Knits.
I believe was she the one who also did this pattern too?
I don't know.
I think she was a tester.
I think Deb Knits it too is the woman that I met at Mass Sheep and Wool.
Oh, Debbie is also one who test knitted the Ridgeline shawl. Deb Knits too won the free pattern. So Deb, I'm going to give you a couple of days to watch this and let me know that you watched it before I contact Rachel from Diabolical Yarns so that I don't spoil the surprise. Yep. And she also did the test knit for Lisa Beamer's shawl, and I'm going to show you hers. See, that's
very
Deb
nice.
Knits.
Deb Knits, yay! And I've met her, yay!
So Deb won, and we'll do another drawing next week.
Cool.
For one more
so
pattern.
I'll give you a second chance to win a pattern. That's really awesome.
I'm going to write her as educational so that I know.
Oh, and this show is brought to you by Finger Paints Nail Polish. And I can't remember what the colorway is, but it looks like the ruby slippers, doesn't it? It's shiny. It has it looks sequined. Loving it.
Yeah, I'll start doing it again soon. My nails have just taken a bath.
I have bought so much nail polish in the last few weeks. It's crazy. But I just had to point that out.
My hangnails take a bath.
I keep getting compliments from it because it's very unusual looking. It looks like sequins.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. All right. So.
On that note, at 54 minutes, because most of it was rambling.
I know. Sorry.
You can, if you're watching us on iTunes, please leave a star rating or a comment.
For us or any of your podcasters that
Friends,
you watch
please.
on iTunes.
If you want the show notes, which I will try and get up. I'm sorry. I try and get up as much as I can. It's just hard when you're exhausted.
Well, she has a job and kids.
They will be at knitoneheart2.blogspot.com. If you have any questions on anything we mentioned, by all means, PM me and I'll give you whatever information we have.
Oh, yeah, me too.
If you do need to reach us, we also have an email address, knitoneheart2@gmail.com. Sorry. We're on Plurk as knitoneheart2, mostly me.
Yep. I'm on Twitter as knitonewendy, Pinterest as knitonewendy.
And I'm on Twitter and Pinterest as knitoneheart2. And I think that's it.
I think that's it, guys.
So join our group if you haven't.
Tea leaf.
No, you are a tea leaf. Join our group if you haven't, and we'll see you next week, hopefully at a more normal, our regularly scheduled time. So, knit with heart.
Knit with heart. Bye.
Bye.